All right, guys, we are in the game now. So down here at the bottom left-hand corner of the map, Blistering Sands, we have our red Protoss player, representative of Vile Gaming. It is State. He's up 1-0 over his opponent here in the upper right-hand corner from the team Evil Geniuses. Not 7 pooling this game. It is Machine.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, I thought it'd be important to talk about the matchups, the stats for these two players, of course. Very important to talk about that, especially when you're looking at maps that are so common in the tournament circuit right now, like Incineration Zone and Blistering Sands. And you know what? Incineration Zone, believe it or not, that was the first recorded game ever between Machine and State on Incineration Zone.
Really?
That was the first actual game ever for either of those players in tournament history.
Oh, God.
As well. Now, Machine is pretty good versus Protoss. It's actually his best matchup right now.
Okay.
So do we call him favored? I don't know, because State's best matchup is versus Zerg. So it's just a battle of the best matchups here at YOMT Map Tournament.
State is such a solid player. He's local to the Bay Area, actually. Pops
That's
up
right,
a lot of
he
Bay
is,
Area lands. I actually get to talk to him from time to time. A great guy. And, you know, he made his splash in IPL the first time back at IPL 2 when he qualified for the tournament and didn't know he was qualifying for it. He actually played in the qualifier, didn't know it was to get into IPL 2, made it into the tournament, and knocked out a player in IPL 2 as well. So,
nice.
A very solid player, and we'll see what he has to offer now. Gateway, then Gas right after that. Nothing out of the ordinary from what we see nowadays. Machine taking kind of a pretty typical route as well, of course, throwing down Pool before Hatch.
Yep, that's right. Believe you got that Pool around 14-15 supply. We might see him take that hatchery. There it is. Yep, hatchery there as well. And the thing is, this is kind of like the type of opening that we see a lot of Zergs do where they go for 3 hatches relatively quickly and then gas. But the problem is, go down to the lower left. Yeah, there's the sort of third base location. It's a gold base with rocks.
Yes.
It's a little bit tougher to take your third base quickly here because that one is approximately 2 inches from your opponent's main base. So, yep, there it is. There's already a pylon right there.
Yes.
Back rocks on this map as well. If you're not familiar with Blistering Sand, you can get right into your opponent's main base through the rocks in the back, but don't worry, there's a line of sight blocker. They'll have to bring machetes to cut through all the foliage to get there as well. But, you know, I always used to die to the back rocks on this map. I don't know. I knew they were there from the beginning. I always forgot to watch them.
I believe I said yesterday.
Terrible.
I'm actually like actively breaking out in hives just looking at this map again. But I believe I said
this cold sweat.
Basically, I believe I said yesterday air units all day, every day on this map. That was that was my strategy, man. You just fly over those back rocks. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna set up fortifications. You're like, nope, I'm going around it.
Yep, that does work. Definitely. And you know what? What does Machine have down by his third base rocks there? A Zergling. A lone Zergling attacking the rocks. He's only got 1,950 hit points to go yet on those 2,000 hit point rocks. This could be quick. Oh, Queen versus Zealot. Who wins? Queen's getting a little bit afraid.
Yeah, should be, actually. We have 4 Zerglings popping up as well, but
look at
Zealot
this.
has already stolen a kill, starting to go through a couple of those drones. And Stalker trying to go after the Queen as well. Queen down to just 25 hit points, barely getting away.
Oh, man.
But the Zealot has already walked through 3 units, 4 kills on it now.
Wow, and that Zealot could just come down and maybe tap the Queen a couple times here, too, finish her off as well. And he's going after it. Oh, injured Zealot versus injured Queen. Who wins?
Injured Queen trying to run away. Go, Queen! 18 hit points. And dead.
Nice
the Zealot
save.
goes down.
Machine saves the Zerglings. And, no, actually saves his Queen. And he sort of saves Zerglings as well. A hero. A true Zerg hero.
That is true.
And he is actually going to go after that gold base really quickly. I think that's actually a smart idea. If he can stay alive long enough to utilize that, that's going to give him such a huge army boost. And on a map like this, you can get to your opponent's base very, very quickly, and that's going to be pretty good. Now, State, the expand he did isn't the typical expand you see on Blistering Sands. Go slightly to the right, ever so slightly. You see that choke? People used to put a pylon and 2 gateways to wall that off, and then just send Zealots at their opponent. That was the common Protoss strategy on this map versus Zerg about 2 years ago. And so...
Yeah, can we call anything common strategies on this map anymore?
Oh, dude, I know all the common strategies on these maps. I'm just going to throw that out there right now. Machine not doing a common strat either. The common Zerg versus Protoss strat on most maps was actually Hydralisk busting. Saw that very commonly. Roaches, you know, this was when a lot of these maps were played about 2 years ago. It was a period of time where Roaches were actually used less because they had just been nerfed. they were 2 supply instead of 1 now.
Yes.
So, or they were 1 supply, got changed to 2, and everyone was like, "Oh, roaches are terrible now. We're never going to use them again."
Yeah, but can you fathom 1 supply roaches right now? Especially as a Protoss player right now on some of the bigger maps, I would probably actively commit Harry Carey somewhere. I don't know.
Harry Carey, like the sports announcer?
Yes, it's Harry Carey.
Well, that'd be
We have vile
terrible,
state
man.
up against EG Machine. Anyway,
don't do it.
I had to.
Don't do. Oh, the Zerglings. Do they see the probe? 2 probes.
Yeah,
That's double the probes.
but don't
coming out for
forget,
state.
the Zelnaga towers cover everything on this map, and
That's
so
right.
Machine can still see.
right.
The probe running up to the top left. And in fact, he already has a Zergling on that.
Is that probe, though, going to see the gold base? I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he is, Cat's Pajamas. He sees the gold base. He knows exactly what Machine is doing, or as far as his gold basing goes, he knows that he's taken one.
And no real surprise, though. I mean, if this was, say, not Blistering Sands, but...
here's the thing, though. Here's the problem that Machine's going to run into, is that when he actually decides to attack, when he uses this gold base, he's going to have to fit through a choke that's only about, like, 3 roaches wide.
Yeah.
That's going to be difficult. You know, if you have 500 roaches, Protoss can hold that off fairly easily if only 3 of them can fire at once, right?
Yes.
Even with the 4 range. So, Machine overwhelmed by the map, missing his inject there. It does happen.
I guess so.
Does happen
but,
sometimes. I can accept that.
But, Machine is going to be on 3 bases that are honestly not terribly defended. I mean, yes, you have the back rocks going into the main, everything like that on Blistering Sands, but the other ones, he's got pretty good control over. The creep spread's getting through the middle of the map. He's almost at that critical drone count. He's at 60 right now on 3 bases. He's going to be able to produce a ton of roaches here very quickly.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Roach Warrens, I want to point something out here as we see the Overseer see things. Look at the Roach Warren. It's building something, and check it out. Zoom in if you can. Oh, you can't zoom in, can you?
No.
Look at the little roach thing. There's actually a little roach head in the middle of that that's moving around. Isn't that weird? I never noticed that until just about a month ago.
That is weird.
It's been fascinating me ever since. I lose games because I'm just transfixed by it.
That's awkward.
Playing the ladder, I know.
More power to you. I don't judge.
It's okay. That's good.
Yes.
Cocasters shouldn't judge.
No, they shouldn't.
No. All right, so we've got, looks like 5 or 6 gates from State and a Robo.
7 now,
7 actually gates for State and a Robo. He's going to go for a very Immortal-heavy composition here.
Yes.
That's what a lot of Protoss did choose to do back in the day. I mean, Immortals were good, and Colossus just took too long to get, so...
Yep.
You know?
Hey, man, against the Mass Roach
Oh,
styles that are out right now, they're still very, very good. Trapping a lot of roaches there, but there's no detection overhead, unfortunately.
No.
There is an observer on the map, but I'm not sure where it's at.
It's around somewhere. Yeah.
It's probably flying there, I would assume, but we'll see if it catches up in just a bit.
You know, I wanted to get a chance to talk to Dustin Browder at IPL4 and tell him that I wanted to be able to click the unit tab, like the units in the unit tab, and jump to it. That would be awesome for the observing stuff, but I didn't get a chance. So maybe someday.
Maybe he's watching.
Maybe he is.
Hope so.
If he is, then maybe he will consider it kindly. And look at this, a lot of roaches out for Machine. Really, really doing a good job taking use of all the minerals from the gold base.
Yeah.
And here we go. Here's the push from State.
Yeah, there's not a ton of excess larvae as well. Hallucination was actually finished up at the same time, so it looks like there's a couple additional mortals. However, there is an Overseer overhead, so we should be able to pick up on those and prioritize the right targets. However, that is still a ton of forces there for State, and Machine just lost a lot, but he is reproducing very, very quickly, crushing the reinforcements in the middle of the map.
Yeah, really nice move by Machine to go and sneak back behind, take out the pylon. He's going to have to give up this base, but you know what? He's got a nice supply lead right now, and if he can get his opponent in a good position, if he can get a good concave, a good flank perhaps, he could still beat this army. And if he kills this army, he may just win the game.
We'll find out.
See, he's going to try to get that flank. How good are the force fields going to be for State?
Not too bad, but the ones around the left-hand side weren't as good as they could have been, and State is, while he does zone out the forces on the right, is going to lose a lot on the left. He is reinforcing with Stalkers, though, and we'll see if that's going to be enough to eventually push this back. No, reinforcements coming in from Machine, and that is going to be just a little bit too much.
Yeah, man, Machine's going to have to try to re-expand at that gold base as well. I've got a feeling he's making 18 roaches at once, and if he controls this portion of the map, he could do a lot of good things. He could try to break in through the back rocks. In fact, that's exactly what he's going to do here. A little bit bigger choke, actually, to go through. then running up to the natural, and will State be able to get there in time?
I don't know. He's starting to float those units back right now, but now that there's 2 attack paths into the main, it's going to be so difficult for State to hold this off. He's got another Immortal coming up right now, 5 additional Stalkers, but the roaches just keep flooding in.
Now he's got that good concave. He's got the production facilities more or less camped. He's going to be able to work on pylons when State pulls back, and Machine just pushing his Protoss opponent all around the map. That Immortal wishes he'd never been built.
That's true.
Oh, that was an awkward time to come out of the robotics bay. It's like, hello world.
I've returned.
GG. We